Welcome to the Cybersecurity Competition Federation show. I'm Dan Manson. I teach computer information systems at Cal Poly Pomona and serve as principal investigator for a National Science Foundation grant to help form an umbrella organization over cybersecurity competitions. The Cybersecurity Competition Federation can support the development of skill at a large scale by bringing cybersecurity competitions under an umbrella organization, which will help players of all ages and skill levels identify a point of entry into a continuum of cybersecurity competition experiences. With a focus on communication and promotion, the CCF maintains the autonomy of competition creators, supports their business models, and does not interfere with their sponsorship or funding sources. CyberPatriot is the fastest growing high school cybersecurity competition in the nation. Many schools wonder, how do we get started in CyberPatriot? Here at CyberFed, we propose 4 steps called the CSTP method to CyberPatriot success. Step 1, find a champion. Step 2, get support. Step 3, form a team. And step 4, practice, practice, practice. At Laron College Preparatory Academy in San Jose, Kathy Smith and her class of 30 middle school students have achieved the first 2 steps and now are ready for the next 2. CyberFed reports on a CyberPatriot success story in the making.
Firewall, that's a good one. Well, it depends on the firewall, because firewalls are only as strong as the way they're set up.
Your school seems to be supportive of what you're doing, and to me you're a champion for your students learning this. How does that happen?
Well, it comes about first from having a principal who's really supportive and who will allow teachers to take on challenges and look for things that will benefit the children that we have at our school. So that's the first step, is having a supportive administrator. And then the next thing is having these people, these amazing people from FireEye and Cisco and Cal Poly Pomona who'll come in and support the kids and help them learn everything they need to be successful.
Is it possible by starting at this age we're able to reach a wider demographic, and in this classroom they're going to say, I can do this, whereas if we waited until high school we might lose some of them?
Yeah, I agree. I think the earlier we can start captivating interest and showing that this is fun, technology is fun, science and math and engineering could be a lot of fun, I think we can certainly change that.
I describe CyberPatriot as a co-ed sport. It certainly seems that way.
It certainly does, especially if the kids are grouped together, boys, girls, all working together toward this common goal. I think you almost forget, you're looking at it as a team and you forget that, oh, this is boy versus girl. You know, it all blends together and it's great.
I think you have to find the passion, you know, and for me, I've been passionate about technology. Everywhere I've been, I remember, you know, setting up laboratories and, again, having all kids access. But coming here was a really great opportunity, and finding someone with that passion. As soon as Ms. Smith said, you know, Maria, I'd like to do this, it's like, go for it. How do I help you? You know, because, again, here she is, and I know that she's very quick with, you know, learning. She's taken about these new programs and really instituted them well. She has great rapport with the students, and I thought, here's a person with a lot of patience and is willing to take the extra mile. And we have a saying here, and I know, you know, people heard it before, but we do here whatever it takes. And so that whatever it takes means, you know, you're driving, I'm driving, and she's doing the extra hours, and so am I, you know, but it is whatever it takes for the good of the students, because we are here for them.
We continue this week with Inside the Game. Jason, in this segment, we see a great example of the value of internal support for cybersecurity competitions. I really believe that it can't start externally. There has to be someone inside the school that wants to step up and take the lead. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's where that step one champion comes into play, Dan. And I think you and I agree that there can be multiple champions involved. It absolutely has to come from within. You know, I'm not a big fan of being told what to do, and I don't think really anybody else is. So when you have some external agent telling you what you should be doing, and especially when that's different than what you are doing, it tends not to work so well.
And what we saw is the relationship that the teacher had with administration. But we find this all the time in schools, in sports. You know, the head of a school wants to have a great sports team, and they fully support their coaches that are teaching the sport and putting the team on the field. In cybersecurity competitions, it's the same thing. Unfortunately, sometimes schools and administrators get this concern about kids learning this. I went to one school around here where the principal said, well, gee, if we had CyberPatriot, then the kids who are hacking our school would have something to do. It's not about that. It's about the kids really becoming good at a skill that's vitally needed.
Yeah, well, you know, to me, that whole line of reasoning is kind of, it's actually really nonsensical. I mean, so football is an example, right? It's very popular. It gets a lot of support from schools. But in essence, nobody says to themselves, we're teaching kids how to solve problems through violence, because American football is pretty violent, right? So why does that line of reasoning all of a sudden apply to cybersecurity when most people in their lifetime aren't going to play football past high school, maybe college, right? Everybody's going to use technology.
And look what happens at this school when you get a champion, the support that they get. FireEye, Facebook, Cisco. It's wonderful to see what a champion can attract. And now they're going to the next two steps. They're going to be forming the teams, they're going to be playing in this competition, and they're going to put in lots of hours practicing.
Yeah, well, you know, and what I find very compelling about that footage, Dan, is two things. First, you see the champion really realizing how to grab that iron heart of glory and lead people towards a vision. But you also see something that's very cool about how a team forms. And that's with one person, in this case, Matt, sitting down as a storyteller, and everybody's sitting around in a circle, very much like our roots as a species, and just forming trust, forming bonds, forming that support, and forming a team.
Yeah, Matt played for 4 years in high school for Troy High School. Matt believes in what CyberPatriot did for him. And I know that we're going to have more and more students going to college that played CyberPatriot, and they're going to want to give back to their local schools. It's really cool what we're starting to see.
Right, and then it's just a simple, small increment to the next step, which is practice, practice, practice.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Dan. Later, everybody.
Jason, I'm glad we finally got to meet Uncle Jimmy and Aunt Edith in the flesh. I mean, felt. What are they doing for us this week?
Well, Uncle Jimmy has an easy challenge. Talking to him, I think they've been putting a lot of time into going through the archives of past competitions and challenges and looking at what's good, what's bad. You know, I think you kind of got a sense last week that Edith is a little controlling, so Jimmy kind of has to toe the line when she's involved, but he's still working on challenges for us. He has an easy one this week.
Well, I think they make a great couple for this challenge because Aunt Edith provides quality control.
Yeah, she's a good yin to his yang, if you will. So when you guys want to check it out, go to Jimmy's website, as always, UncleJimmy'sChallenges.com. When you have the answer, go ahead and email it to him at Jimmy@UncleJimmy'sChallenges.com. You know, I don't know how long it's going to be before we start seeing Jimmy's challenges on Edith's discussion, but they keep wanting to do it, so let's go.
Welcome once again to Edicts by Edith, the show for discerning connoisseurs of cybersecurity challenges. I'm your host, Edith.
Hey you guys, it's me, Uncle Jimmy. This week we're talking about a challenger from a Pico CTF in 2013, the Bitwise 55 Challenger. Hey Edith, what you think?
Well, Jimmy, there are good challenges and bad challenges. Bitwise 55 is a great challenge. The clues are verbose and straightforward. their specific direction on what needs to be done to solve the challenge, and, best of all, there are related examples provided. Bravo!
I see. That challenge is sweeter than my red pepper sauce.
Don't be so outlandish, Jimmy.
Forget about it. Anyways, Jason, I'm gonna go make some more challenges. You have fun with your show, okay?
If you have a competition you would like us to cover in a future show, please contact us at cyberfed.org. I'm Dan Manson. See you next week.